First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Welcome to WUFT News First at 5. I'm Sarah Hauer.
And I'm Kennedy Chambers. Thanks for joining us.
We begin with breaking news where both Levi and Citrus County Sheriff's offices are involved in a recovery operation. We learned Levi County deputies are assisting with a search and have set up a staging area near the Bird Creek boat ramp on the west end of County Road 40. The ramp is closed while the search is underway. We're working to learn more about the investigation. Once we have more details, we'll bring them to you.
Parts of East Gainesville will get a facelift thanks to a $500,000 grant awarded to the city. WUFT's Alexa Herrera was at the mayor's press conference today and is live from one of the East Side communities set to receive some of that funding.
I'm at the East Side Community Center, standing in front of Lakeside Terrace Complex. The money will be used here and about within a 2-mile radius. Gainesville is one of the 14 cities nationwide which will receive a Housing and Urban Development Neighborhood Planning Grant. This is the first step to revitalizing an East Gainesville neighborhood. The City and Housing Authority will use the $500,000 to work with residents and local organizations to create a plan. Mayor Harvey Ward says the money will pave the way for future improvements.
This initial number is nothing to sneeze at, but it's the leverage and the opportunities that the doors that it opens for the community are terrific.
Part of the plan will be to update public housing. Improvements will be made at the Pine Meadows and Lake Terrace properties off East University Avenue.
And a better East Gainesville means a better Gainesville.
In the other communities, similar grant money paid for a garden project and improving a library. Lake Terrace resident Candace Johnson says she hopes some of the money will go towards engaging kids in the area.
To keep them something to do, something provocative to do, keep a lot of kids out of trouble.
After the planning is complete, the city will apply for an implementation grant. That can range from $30 to $50 million to start the construction. I'm Alexa Herrera, WUFT News.
The man mauled by police canine requests a change of plea. Terrell Bradley announced he will change his plea from not guilty this week. The charges are related to the canine attack where he lost his eye. The incident happened after he escaped from a minor traffic stop. According to his lawyer, Curtis Lee, prosecutors are in negotiations. Judge David Kaiser deferred the case to September 29th. A local man is arrested during a child sex sting operation. Gainesville police arrested Norik Lau Thursday. According to the investigators, the 26-year-old traveled to meet who he believed to be a child he connected with on social media. Instead, police say he was talking with an officer posing as a child from the North Florida ICAC task force. The unit alerted GPD, which began a 2-day investigation until the man was arrested. GPD is urging parents to be aware of their child's social media usage and who they are messaging.
Showers are expected throughout your weekend.
And it could impact the Gators' big game tomorrow. WUFT's Julia Haley is timing the rain.
Sarah, Kennedy, we're even seeing those showers this evening, especially along the First Coast and also the Big Bend over near Tallahassee. And what this means is that we can even see some showers tonight here in Gainesville. But if you take a look at the heat index, feels like 95 degrees right now here in Gainesville, and around other places, those temperatures sitting in the 80s. That humidity keeping us warm though throughout the rest of the evening. And if you take a look outside, we have those beautiful skies, but this won't last long. It's a beautiful day outside, but tomorrow we're expecting that chance for showers. I'll have more on your game day forecast a little bit later. Back to you.
Newly released body camera video shows police searching for a man they say drove an excavator into a Gainesville Walmart. WUFT's Sandra McDonald has more.
That new video, released on the Gainesville Police Department's Facebook page, shows police carrying assault rifles past shoppers to arrest Jesse Charles Smith Monday night. Police say Smith used a stolen excavator to plow through an exterior wall of the Walmart on the southwest side of town. After his arrest, employees showed police where Smith dropped a machete he carried through the store. Investigators say on his joyride, Smith caused an estimated $2 million in damages to Walmart and the surrounding businesses. Smith has been ordered to undergo a mental health evaluation prior to being released on a $160,000 bond. Back to the desk.
The Dixie County Sheriff's Office is mourning the loss of one of their own. In a Facebook post, the sheriff's office announced that their canine partner, Jill, passed away from cancer. The dog first joined the unit to work and patrol in narcotics, and then partnered with a school resource officer at Ruth Raines Middle School. She has spent her last 4 years serving the school. The sheriff's office says her unit is proud of her work over the years and she will forever be missed.
Gainesville police are looking for a man that they say who robbed a Circle K at gunpoint. Investigators say the robbery happened around 10 a.m. Wednesday morning at the store on Northwest 16th Boulevard. They released these images that show the suspect entering the store with a handgun. The suspect pointed a handgun and demanded the victim to open the register before running away. Police are asking if anyone has information to contact the department. The Gainesville City Commission will put another $250,000 aside to fund its challenge to the new law that strips away city governance of GRU. Commissioners are already identified $250,000 in GRU money to hire outside lawyers to fight the change. Thursday's unanimous vote targets city general revenue for the next $250,000. The new law transfers GRU governance on October 1st to a board. Appointed by the governor, some local residents have their own lawsuit ongoing in federal court. This week, the state filed to have that lawsuit dismissed. Coming up on WU's First at 5, the workers of the top 3 automakers are on strike, and President Biden is attempting to amend his relationship.
Plus, we'll have more on how the community is celebrating the start of Hispanic Heritage Month. That and more when we return.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome back to WUFT's First at 5. President Biden is working to get automakers and union workers on the same page after workers from the country's 3 biggest companies went on strike this morning. NBC's Alice Barr has more from the picket lines.
From the picket line to the halls of Congress and the White House, United Auto Workers' demands are echoing loud and clear in Washington.
No one wants a strike, but I respect workers' right to use their options under the collective bargaining system.
It's a delicate balance for the self-described most pro-union president in American history.
I'm proud to say union. I'm proud.
Looking to take a stand for workers' rights while acknowledging the deeply damaging effects an extended strike would have on the economy. President Biden pointing to automakers' record profits over the past decade.
Those record profits have not been shared fairly, in my view, with those workers.
No deal! No wheel! I like it! All right, yeah.
Michigan Senator Gary Peters joined striking workers in the Detroit suburbs as they try to reclaim some of their power from the heyday 1960s.
The average CEO made 30 times what the average worker makes in this country. Right now, you have CEOs that make several hundred times what the average worker makes.
President Biden sending Acting Labor Secretary Julie Su and Senior Advisor Gene Sperling to Detroit to help facilitate a deal, knowing the stakes in the must-win state of Michigan as he seeks a second term in the White House. Republican presidential candidates already seizing on the upheaval.
We're seeing the UAW fight for more benefits and less hours working, more pay and fewer days on the job.
Sharp dividing lines.
We put blood, sweat, and tears on these lines.
As workers and their supporters seek wages they can build a life on without dealing a severe blow to their employers and the broader economy. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Recent polling shows an increase in support for labor unions. A Gallup poll last month found that 75% of those surveyed sympathized more with UAW workers than the automakers.
With the Jewish high holidays approaching, 2 local congregations are preparing for some of UF's 6,500 students to arrive. WUFT's Levi D'Amato visited University of Florida's Hillel and Chabad to check in on the festivities.
Gainesville's Jewish community celebrates the start of year 5784. The Jewish New Year, known as Rosh Hashanah, starts tonight and ends on Sunday. Rabbi Jonah Zinn of UF's Hillel congregation is expecting a large turnout.
Rosh Hashanah is one of the most significant days in the Jewish calendar. So we have hundreds and hundreds of students that choose to be with us and to celebrate together as a community.
The holiday is celebrated with traditional foods and a religious service. Those traditional foods are sweet ones, like apples and honey, cookies, and pomegranates.
Throughout the day, students have been receiving boxes like the one I have right here. I have the classic apples and honey. This symbolizes the coming of a sweet new year.
Down the road from Hillel, Chabad will also host a Rosh Hashanah dinner.
The Rosh Hashanah dinner is something that's conducted here in a large family atmosphere. Everyone is made to feel comfortable and at home.
Chabad will welcome UF President Ben Sass for dinner. On the menu, brisket and matzo ball soup. Rosh Hashanah is the start of what is called the high holidays.
Being in college, my first year was a little bit hard, but now I choose to stay. I could have gone home. I live in Miami, it's not far, but I choose to stay because I think the community here is so wonderful, and I also love spending it with my friends.
And like her, many students are ready to celebrate in their home away from home. Levi Diamato, WUFT News.
Today marks the start of Hispanic Heritage Month. The month covers Independence Days for several Spanish-speaking countries. The month is a time to celebrate the histories, cultures, and contributions of Hispanic people who live within the U.S. The celebration dates back to 1968. It officially became recognized as a month in 1988. Hispanics, who accounted for 17% of the student population at UF, have already begun celebrating with a "What is your favorite Hispanic saying?" activity.
Hey Kennedy, is it as hot outside for you today as it is for me?
I'll take the heat as long as the weather's good for the game. WUFT's Julia Haley is here to let us know if it'll be cooled down anytime soon.
Well, if you're planning on going to the Ben Hill Griffin Stadium for...
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
A cold front passed through, giving us those showers for our evening, especially bubbling up around the First Coast and also the Big Bend. But here in Gainesville, currently seeing those beautiful blue skies. For right now, we can see those cumulus clouds start to bubble up as well. 85 degrees, but feels so much warmer because of all of that humidity in our area. And if you take a look at those temperatures, currently sitting in the upper 80s here in Gainesville, and those showers cooling us down even in Jacksonville, 77 degrees. Heat index, though, showing that it's exceptionally hot outside. 95 degrees in Gainesville and Ocala, even 92 for the Villages. Once again, seeing that cool down in Jacksonville from those showers. And for this evening, seeing your hour by hour, looking like a bunch of showers around the evening, but it'll clear up before midnight, and then you'll just see those clouds lasting and getting even cloudier into tomorrow morning. If you are planning on going to the football game, Florida versus Tennessee, those showers are definitely possible, as that cold front did give us some more humid kind of conditions. If you look at our future radar on Friday this evening, seeing those showers start to clear up and then once again bubble up, especially around interior Florida around the afternoon. So you'll see we'll have like an isolated thunderstorm around Saturday afternoon and then start to build up even more starting around the game. So the game may be a little delayed due to these showers, but we are watching and keeping track to make sure that you are as updated as you can possibly be. That future rain, seeing less than an inch here in Gainesville, but other places like Cross City getting 1 to 2 inches of rain, and even along the East Coast and I-95, 2 to 4 inches of rain. Take a look at your Saturday morning lows sitting in the 70s. If you do want to go for a run, it's going to be very nice outside. Get your first taste of fall while you can. And for Saturday, once again, sitting in the 80s. And for your Saturday for kickoff, seeing those showers, especially before kickoff, and then clearing up. But by the time the game is over, even on to Sunday, seeing those showers once again. So it's going to be a rainy weekend. This is definitely a movie day type of weekend where you do want to go inside and kind of rearrange your plans. And if you take a look at our muggy meter, it's going to stay exceptionally muggy, so you're going to start to feel that sweat. Take a look at your 6-day game day, seeing that rain. And on to Daniel Haviv with sports.
Thanks, Julia. Gators football returns to the Swamp tomorrow for a matchup with the 11th ranked Tennessee Volunteers. It's the start of SEC play for Florida, what Gator players are saying about their approach to the big game, all that and more when we return with sports.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome to sports. I'm Daniel Haviv. The anticipation is finally over. Gators football welcomes in the 11th ranked Tennessee Volunteers to the Swamp tomorrow night to open up SEC play. The Gators come off a dominant win over McNeese State last week, where the defense really shined. Tennessee, though, didn't look great against Virginia and Austin Peay. Nonetheless, they're a talented team, but the Vols haven't won at Florida since 2003. The Gators understand the magnitude of this game and the history behind the rivalry.
You know, the teams like Georgia, Tennessee, Florida State, LSU, those teams, the SEC teams, like, we kind of have a chip on our shoulder right now, and that's just something that we want to focus on moving forward. Is we have to dominate in every aspect of our game from here on out.
Kickoff for the sellout is set for 7 p.m. And Florida football is not the only program opening up SEC play. Gator soccer kicks off conference competition tonight with the home matchup against Missouri. WUFT's Chris Will is live outside Donald R. Disney Stadium. Chris, it's alumni night for the Gators.
Yeah, that's right, Daniel. In about 30 minutes, fans will begin to fill these stands to celebrate the 25-year anniversary of the 1998 National Championship team. Now, the Gators will also look to cap off their night with a win against the Missouri Tigers to get Samantha Bohan in her second season with the Gators, her first conference win. Now, there's already been a marked improvement since last season, already surpassing their total number of wins in just 7 non-conference games. The last time the Gators took the field, they squared off with FSU. The 5th-ranked Seminoles snagged one in the 76th minute to escape with a 1-0 victory. That said, though, there were a number of bright spots for Florida. It was the closest the Gators have been in a match with the Noles since 2019, and the Gators' defense also kept the unbeaten Seminoles to the fewest goals they have scored all season. Now the Gators turn their attention to the Missouri Tigers. They'll look to cap off this night with a win against the Missouri Tigers. Both teams coming in with a 4-2-1 record. The last time the Missouri Tigers lost to the Gators, 2019, right here in Gainesville, celebrating the 25th year anniversary of the Gators soccer program. Kickoff for tonight is set for 7 p.m. Reporting live from the Diz, Chris Will, WFT News.
Thanks, Chris. Moving to some volleyball, there's a huge top 3 matchup on Sunday. The 3rd-ranked Gators face the number 1 ranked Wisconsin Badgers in the O-Dome. The Gators are 8-0 for only the 6th time in school history. They've been on a tear, beating teams like Stanford and Minnesota, who are ranked in the top 5. Wisconsin comes in as the best team in the nation, but the Badgers will have their hands full as Florida is the highest-ranked team they've faced all season. Senior AC Fitzpatrick says the team remains prepared no matter who the competition is.
They did not give up a single point, and so we prepare for that. We know every single team is going to try their absolute hardest against us, and we know Wisconsin's going to do the same exact thing.
The Gators matchup with Wisconsin is set for Sunday at 3 p.m. Now for some high school volleyball. Gainesville High School recorded their 3rd sweep of the week against PK Yonge. The first set was back and forth and featured multiple runs by both schools, but the Hurricanes pulled away in the end. Sets 2 and 3 were dominated by Gainesville. It was an all-around team effort, especially on the defensive end. Some other games from Thursday night. Eastside defended home court, winning all 3 sets against Fort White. Chiefland traveled to Taylor County and took care of business, allowing the Bulldogs to take only 1 set. And Buchholz secured the sweep against Bellevue in a strong all-around performance. It's Friday night, and that means we're getting some big-time high school football games. Buchholz is in action against Creekside as they look to continue their dominance. The Bobcats are ranked as the number 1 team in their district and hold an undefeated 3-0 record. They're led by 2024 Gators commit Miles Graham. Graham is the anchor of the Bobcats defense, which does not allow easy points. On the other hand, the Creekside Knights come into the game with a record of 1-2, and their defense has allowed 20-plus points in all 3 games this season. Kickoff is set for 7:30 p.m. That's it for sports. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Daniel. Alachua County sheriffs go beyond their call of duty to save a trapped owl. This video posted on the Sheriff Office Facebook page shows deputies rescuing an owl that was trapped under a pickup truck Thursday morning. The owl was taken to a wildlife care facility to be treated.
Before we go, one last check on the weather.
If you're going to Florida versus Tennessee, expect those showers sitting in the mid-80s throughout the evening and even throughout the rest of the week, seeing those showers lasting and even those clouds building up. Highs in the upper 80s and lows in the upper 60s by the end of the week. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. BBC World News is next, and the PBS News Hour is coming up at 7.
But your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. Have a good night.